Maybe I'm gonna have to. Oh, I'm not. Oh, let's see. Ah, it's not showing no. It's not showing me. I have to close that room out. It has my camera. That must be what is going on. All right, let me continue that. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why you can't see me. This is interesting. I don't think anything else has my camera. Maybe it is not. Okay. Interesting that you are unable to see me. I am on. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. Annette Newman, I can read the comments and I can't see you all. I mean, I can't be seen, so I think I'm going to try this one more time. I think maybe I had an open messenger room that was using my camera, so I'm going to try it one more time. So I'm going to finish this, and I hope that the few of you that are here will come right back. All right, we're going to see if it's live this time and if you can see me this time. And that would have been the other one that we're going to get rid of. Okay, I see me. We were having some technical difficulties, so here we are, live. Just turn down the volume of that just so I can see. Okay, hello, Teresa Marshall. I had invited you. Lynn, hello. Okay, both two people are here. Lynn, I would love for you to come on. I could send you an invite if you're up to coming on. Marilyn Nelson Hamilton. I can increase my number of folks in the stream. This is excellent. Now that makes a big difference. That might help this platform. Yes, I can have more folks. All right. So, Lynn, you said yes, as in yes, you can come on. Jonathan Williams. All right. I got some folks that I think can come on with me. See there. All right. Hopefully. Okay, more folks are coming in. Fantastic. Carmen Evans, thank you so much. Carmen Evans, I'm going to see if I can get you and Jonathan to join me. I know folks are like, I'm just passing through. We'll pass right through on the camera. And join us. Hi, Jonathan. Hello. Okay, I'm sending you a quick come join me. This is a Restream platform, so you may have to sign in. It should make you go through hoops and hurdles to have to join me, but we're testing out to make sure Restream, because they're trying to compete with me on. I think they took my idea and they're gonna make some money with it. Lynn Shaw, I just sent you the link in your inbox. I sent it to Jonathan. I sent it to you. I don't know if Teresa Marshall's still here. I will send it to you, Teresa, if you want to come on live. Marilyn Hamilton, Nelson Hamilton. You're at the shop with your car. Are you fixing the car? I'm teasing. Okay, I understand that. Today is Saturday, the last Saturday in the month, and as often as I can, the last Saturday in the month, I try to schedule, to reduce my schedule so that I can do some reflection over the month and some thinking of the month forward as often as I can do that. It doesn't always. It asks you to join the desktop. I'm in the car. Oh, you should be able to join in the car too. You should be able to join from your phone. I am often amazed how quickly we get to June in each year. To me, the time flies by, and before we know it, we are in June. And so here we are in June, and half of the year is gone. And for a large part of this year, I don't know about you, but I've been pinching myself with gloves on. Pinching myself with gloves on because we've had to wear gloves. I know people aren't wearing gloves anymore. And I know there are people saying they don't recommend that you wear gloves anymore. That wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear gloves, don't wear gloves. We've been back and forth with what we should wear and when. But I do still wear gloves. I ride a bike. One of the Mogo bikes here in the Detroit area, they have Mogo bike stations. And so I'm renting a bike that I ride 4 days a week. And I wear gloves while riding, even though I clean off the handlebars and the gear, the gear changer and the brakes and the seat. I clean those off before I get on the bike, and then after I get off the bike, I clean it off for the next person in the event. I've sweated and am asymptomatic. I have not had a COVID-19 test. I am going to have one. I have a very low threshold for pain, and I have hypertension. And those two things together don't make me want to rush out to get a test, but I will. But I'm wearing gloves, so I walk in the store and a lot of people don't have on gloves, and sometimes they don't have on masks. And so I'm that guy. I'm that guy that says, hey, is that sign on your door still applicable to all of the guests in the store? And the owner said, oh, yeah, here, I got a mask. And one of the young guys was like, oh, dude. I was like, I think maybe you're referring to me. If you're going to call me old anything, call me OG. So he laughed. He said, why you have to tell on us? I said, because you can read, wear a mask. And what I'm learning, hello, Jan Holmes' boy, Corey Reed. What I'm learning is that 29 states have seen an uptick in cases, and we've had a record number of cases on Thursday, a record one-day number of cases here in the U.S. It was 39,972 cases and counting. And it is my understanding that there is the potential that for every one case that's reported, there could be 10 cases that are not yet reported. So I don't want to multiply and say that 40,000 is 400,000. They're not sure, right? How many cases are have not yet been reported as a part of a new day, right? And so many of the things that I've read is relating this uptick to millennials who are more likely to go frequent clubs and things of that nature without social distancing, and the protests and the holidays where people are more likely to get together. So here I am in another holiday coming up, and part of my reflection, Zeta Dow, thank you for coming. Part of my reflection is that I want to go into the holiday safely and out of the holiday safely. So I was on a Zoom call yesterday. As a matter of fact, I think I live on Zoom, having so many calls on Zoom. And so one of the 5 Zoom calls that I had yesterday, 5. Now the shortest one was short; it was only 15 minutes. But the other ones, 5 calls. Some of them wonderful. I did a LinkedIn Live. I have the opportunity to use that platform now, and so I'm doing some LinkedIn Live stuff. So if you're on that LinkedIn doing more professional stuff, you'll start to see some of the Gratefulness Journey stuff there. I am soon going to be publishing my book, my first book, The Gratefulness Journey. It's about the Gratefulness Journey. And I hope that you will be a brand ambassador to help me, reach my goal of the best-selling Amazon book. But I'm on a Zoom, and my brother, I have one brother living. I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Only my brother is living in me. And my brother drops by, and I'm on the Zoom call. I did not hear the door. And I saw his phone, him ringing the phone. He only rang it once, only called one time. And because I was on the Zoom, I didn't answer. I said, once I hop off the Zoom, I will call him back. And so I got off the Zoom, grabbed some water, called him, said, "Hey, brother." He said, "Hey, I just stopped by your house." I said, "Oh, my goodness." I said, "I'm here." He says, "Well, your car is there, so I assume you are. Are you okay?" I said, "I'm good." He said, "Okay, I just dropped by. I hadn't seen you and talked to you, and I wanted to drop something off to you." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And we chatted for a minute, and we got off the phone. I said, "I love you." And he chuckled and said, "I love you too." Because normally he's the person saying, "I love you" to me before I say it to him. And I am so grateful that I have a brother, number one, because I adored, as a kid, I adored my brother. And I refer to him as the bigger brother. But I also adored my big brother. Some would say I idolized him in ways. I did. I wanted to be a lot like him and pestered him about following him around and stuff like that. But I'm grateful that I have a brother. I realize that I've lost significantly siblings and the like, but I still have a blood brother. Now I got other brothers that aren't blood. Jonathan, I guess I will call him my little brother, though he's not my little brother. If you know Jonathan, he's bigger and taller than me. But because I have the Napoleon complex, I'm going to say my little brother. I got other brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Other people who really mean a lot to me and have over the years. But I'm glad I have a blood brother. I'm not an only child, though I am the youngest, and I think all of them would have said, "Oh, he's so spoiled," even though they would have been the ones spoil me. No, I don't guess, Jonathan. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I got the Napoleon complex. That's the part I guess about. But I love my brother, and I don't spend enough time with him. And in these times, because he has had significant health challenges in the past, I know that I am concerned about his health, about being around people in general. But we don't see each other every day, every week. But he, without fail, calls and checks on me, without fail. And I said to myself, "Self, you should be grateful that you have love in your life that comes by to remind you that you are thought of and that you are loved." And that might be a small thing to some people, especially if you live in a home where you have a spouse or children or siblings or whatever your living arrangements are. I live alone. Autumn has her own apartment and wants to keep having an apartment, and that's part of growing up. But I think of all of the people in the world that are single or that live alone, that are widowed or that live alone, and how important it is that we stay connected to people and let them know that we're looking out for them and we care for them. I'm grateful. That made me feel amazing that someone in the world was thinking about me enough to come by and check on me. Though most people know, don't just drop by. There are very few people who can just drop by. Now, there are some people who have keys. And so we've already had our rules of engagement about how we use the keys. Not that they're going to come in and find me in a menage a trois. not such, but we have rules of engagement. But living alone, spending a lot of time alone and relying on Zoom as my touch point, or the essential workers in the store or wherever else I might need to go, it feels great to know that there's someone in the world that is just thinking of you. And so think of your single friends, your widowed friends, your divorced friends. Think of your friends that maybe weren't happy in their relationships before COVID. Think of the people that spend a lot of alone time, and reach out to some of them and just check on them. You might be surprised at how amazing it might make them feel. So I'm grateful for my brother. I'm grateful that he is in much better health. And I'm grateful that he was thinking of me. Now, I spent probably 5 to 7, 8 minutes talking about that, but I really could have said, I'm grateful for my brother who stopped by to check on me kind of out of the blue. And it made me feel amazing. That's one of the things I was grateful for. So you can simply be on this gratefulness journey, doing this every day. 3 things you're grateful for, speaking them aloud, which I think is important, and which I know is important, and sharing them with 3 people. So it is gratefulness evangelism, it's gratefulness affirmations, it's gratefulness meditation. The affirmation part is so important because and I won't go too far into it because you got to buy the book. It'll be $9.99. I'm sure you'll spend $10 on the book and tell other people to buy the book. I think it will really bless you. But what I will say is that what you speak will either agitate or align with what you believe, who you are. So if you say, I'm grateful, but you're really a not so nice person living a not so nice life, that gratefulness will challenge and conflict with who you are until one of them wins. And if that is who you are, it will align with it. And if it's who you want to become, right? You want to become someone different than you are today. You want to become a better version of yourself than you are today. Then you start speaking these affirmations that challenge who you are and speak forth to align those things out there that will help support you to become who you want to become. And you consistently do the work about becoming this new person, then what you are speaking aligns with who you are becoming. And Carmen says we're all alone watching TV and looking out the window. Some of us are, right? I see Kyle Wright has come through here. Thank you, sir, for stopping through. So it is what you will become. And that's kind of a part of, it's one of the themes that you might read about in the book when it comes out. And I hope that you will buy it. And I hope that you will read it. And I hope that you will give us a review on Amazon. And I hope that you will share it. But I'm grateful for having a brother. Grateful for having a brother. I'm grateful for music. I am a lover of music, anybody that might know me. And I'm a director of music at a church here in Detroit. I love music, and music fills me up in ways that I wish I could explain. But the best way to characterize it is it helps me get to my flow spot. And you'll have to read the book for me to tell you what flow means, because flow means a few things. So you have to know flow to be able to flow in the flow that flows. And you'll hear something like that in the book, but it's flow. It helps me to get to a flow place. And that flow place will unlock parts of my mind that I'm not sure that I've learned how to master, but it is as close to realizing genius as I might realize it. I get into this flow space, and you can get into that flow space. It is the place where you are at ease in doing what you're doing, and you feel as one with the things that you're doing. And it's almost as if nothing or anyone could interrupt you. And so the goal is to live in that space more frequently, because you become more productive and you exponentially open your mind up to things that you hadn't thought about, and ways that you hadn't thought about the things that you do think about. And so music does that for me. Music does that for me. Vina Sayre says, as a widow, I appreciate others checking on me. Yeah, I think it's important. I really think it's important, especially in this day and time, where people are living alone or spending inordinate amounts of time alone. It is a way to really lift the spirit of someone, to check on them. So I think everybody should do that today. Say, I'm just grateful to be connected to you, and I was calling to just say I love you, or calling to just let you know I was thinking about you, however that goes. I'm also grateful. I am the youngest of five. Only two of us are still living. Both of my parents are deceased. I have 6 nieces, a nephew, a great nephew, 2 great nephews, and 2 great nieces. Currently, for those of my nieces and nephews that might see this, currently there is still time to give me some more greats. But generally, I come from a pretty large family. My mother was, I think, number 7 of 13. And my father was number 12 of 13. Now, all of those folks, because my parents were 39 and 40 when they had me, all of those folks are on the other side. One of my aunts recently passed, but I have one remaining aunt on my mother's side out of all of those 26. But almost all of them had children. Some of them had 8 or 9 children, 12, 11. And so their children, let me say it right, that first iteration of children on my dad's side, their children are closer to my age because of the span, right? My dad was the second youngest of his 13 siblings, and I am then now 40 years. He was 40 when he had me. So a lot of my first cousins are older, but their children are either my age or slightly younger, if that makes sense. And on my mom's side, I have and have had cousins my age, some slightly older, but a number of cousins my age. And a lot of them who have children that are slightly younger than me, and their children are Autumn's age or younger, if that makes sense. So a lot of folks around. But I have a cousin that I'm grateful for. His name is David. And David is the cousin, I call him one of my favorite cousins. All of my cousins are my favorites. I don't want no trouble. But David has always been the cousin that has always just been on my side, had my back, no matter what. Not that I don't have other cousins that do. But Friday, I thought about David, and I thought about my gratefulness for him. Because I realized there are people in this world who do not have people who love them just for who they are, no matter how flawed they are, they just love them. If you don't have that, I'm going to help you find it, because it's amazing to be loved for just who you are. It's amazing for people to know things about you, to know missteps or mistakes or idiosyncrasies or pet peeves or habits, and still love you. Because that, my friends, I believe is the agape love that we ought to experience as a manifestation while we are here in the earth school. You ought to be loved unconditionally without regard for your imperfections or flaws. As a matter of fact, you should be loved without someone taking inventory of those things and just loving you. And so I'm grateful that I am experiencing that kind of love, that I have over my life experienced that kind of love. And I want that for everybody, everywhere. And so those are the things I'm grateful for. See, it took me to 30 minutes to really talk them out, to give the stories behind them. But really, it only takes 5 minutes to just say, I'm grateful for my brother. I'm grateful for my cousin. What else am I grateful for? Tell me, you might win something. What else did I say I'm grateful for? If you can tell me that, I'm going to send you something special. Inbox me at Love and Stuff and tell me the third thing I'm grateful for. I think I'll put that on the page, make it a little contest. But you have it first because you're here live with me. Tell me what I'm grateful for, and you will get a special gift. 3 things. Speak them aloud 3 times as affirmations. Get your thoughts centered around what you're speaking, and let your spirit wrestle with it. Because if you say, I'm grateful for having family, but then you never connect with your family, your affirmation is diametrically opposed to what you say you're grateful for. And it will challenge you. It will speak back to your spirit and you'll be like, something doesn't click with that. Those 2 will battle and one will win. One will win. And the more that you say it, I am inclined to believe that what you say is what you will have. But that only happens in affirmation when it is aligned with who you are or who you are becoming. Because when it is not aligned with who you are, it will conflict. It will speak back to you. It will ricochet back to you to say, that doesn't resolve as true. That doesn't resolve as true. I'm grateful for patience. Not if you're not patient. It won't resolve as true. It will be in conflict until you say, I'm grateful for the opportunity to become patient. I will be more patient with my children this week. And I'm grateful for the journey of being more patient with them because they're not perfect. And when I was their age, I wasn't perfect. So I'm grateful for the reflection of knowing that they'll be okay if they're not perfect. And the way I've trained them, they will not depart from it. And I am grateful for being patient on their journey. See, that is what I'm becoming. She's saying, I'm grateful for being patient. And you know full well you just put your child out because your child didn't follow what you said. And this is the second time or first time. That's not a demonstration of the virtue patience. You, sir, you, ma'am, are not patient. It's okay. But be willing to be challenged by what you say when what you do and what you say are not aligned. Then you start to align it by moving your actions toward what you're saying. I am becoming a person that is on time for every meeting. You can't say, I'm on time. I'm grateful because I'm on time every day. Well, your habits haven't stacked to help you do that. I'm grateful that I have the power to change my tardiness. I'm grateful that one day at a time, I'm going to be on time for a different thing. I'm calling to it and I'm repeating it several times until who I want to become is who I actually am. As long as I'm diametrically opposed to it, the affirmation will not be effective if I'm not willing to understand that what I'm saying is not where I am. Now, if what you're saying is where you are, you can get into a flow state where you move with ease. And that is the goal, I hope, for you in transforming your life through gratefulness, is that you get into this flow state that we will talk slightly more about in the book, so that you have a sense of how do I get there and what is the value in being in that flow state. There are some benefits. There's some science around that flow state, and you want to be in that flow state as often as you can, as regularly as you can, because it builds for you a powerful regimen that transforms your life. And I'm here to tell you, gratefulness was not a journey that I had embarked upon at all. I was on a mindfulness journey, absolutely. I was on a mindfulness journey to be a much more mindful leader and to bring into my authentic space the fact that I had experienced so much loss, and some of it sudden, that it impacts how you trust and interact and are vulnerable with other people. And so I embarked upon a mindfulness journey, and that mindfulness journey led me to the path of not just an international organization of mindfulness, but on the journey I met a monk, a former monk, whose principles and concepts caught me at a time I needed to hear them and helped to change and transform some of my thinking. But the gratefulness journey rather, came from the sagest wisdom bearer of all, my mother, bless her memory. And she said to me one pre-Thanksgiving, when I had decided I was no longer going to be celebrating Thanksgiving, it was too painful, too much. She noticed that there wasn't any cooking. She couldn't smell any food. And she said, go to this store, get this, talk to this butcher, get this. She said, you got the right to grieve as long as you want and as deeply as you want and the way in which you want. Yeah, you got the right. Do it how you do it. But you must also reserve the right to be grateful for and take inventory of everything and everyone you have left. That's what started my gratefulness journey, to be grateful for the experiences that I have left, including the ones that might be intended to work against me or might be intended to be negative, knowing that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Those things that were meant to work against me, I have some control in how I position my response and action to those things. And if I'm in that flow state, I can use those things as leverage to power my testimony forward to help transform someone else's life and experience. And that's one of the great powers of gratefulness. This has been my gratefulness moment. If you believe that this is a journey for you, and I fully believe it is, 3 things you're grateful for, speak them aloud 3 times, share them with 3 people every day for 30 days. You're on the gratefulness journey every day. Then you should click the talk box link that should be displaying in the description of this live. If not, I'll drop it in the comments, and join the gratefulness journey. What you get starting is a free quiz, free to you, for you to take to see how grateful you are and to see with some tips how you can improve that gratefulness. You will be in our journey, and you can ask anyone on the journey. I don't inundate you with content and do this, buy this, go here, but we send you little nudges along the way to just keep you engaged about your gratefulness and your commitment to it. It will not work if you don't commit to it. It will not work if you don't build it, incorporate it as a small win in your everyday. Small wins first. It will be powerful if you build it into your life. Do it every day. You will see the transformation happening, and others will see and experience it. It is a contagion. I'm Marcus Holmes. I am the Chief Passion Officer for HR Passion LLC, which is the owner of Love and Stuff and the Gratefulness Journey and a couple of other things. And I am so grateful that you've stopped by today. I hope that you will go to the Love and Stuff page, check us out there, join the Gratefulness Journey. I also hope that we are starting our Love Over Racism manifestos and discussions. I hope that you will be a part of that. We believe that equity, there is a cost for equity, and it's love over racism. That is what we get when we put love over racism. So if you think of the equation, love over racism would equal equity. That's the cost. And I hope that you will join our manifesto. If you go to our Shopify store, there is a new product there for Love Over Racism. 35% of those net proceeds, after we pay the cost of the t-shirt, 35% of the net proceeds are going to education on racism, participation to eliminate racism, and activation of plans to and so if you a contribution toward those efforts, I invite you to do that. It is the Love Over Racism manifesto. I will drop that link in the comments as well, so that you don't have to sit home and just feel like you have no power and authority. You do. And we want to align you with people, organizations, and resources where you can make a difference where you are. Someone once said, brighten the corner where you are. Well, you can make a difference where you are. Some of it is as simple as registering to vote and ensuring that everyone in your circle of influence has registered to vote. Some of it is going beyond that. If you know that you're surrounded by voters, get out and get involved in voter activation where there is so much voter suppression happening. There are a number of ways that you can get activated in that. There are a number of ways you can participate in the education forum, is because there are people that are both in power and in privilege who don't know how to wield either of those things to help those that are experiencing injustice and inequity. So there are our white brothers and sisters that some of them are privileged and they cannot know what it is to walk in our shoes. But we can have discussions where they have empathic inquiry about our journeys and ways to help us to come to resolution. That's the education, because a large part of this racism is the ignorance. It's ignorant to believe that we are 3/5 of a person, but people believe that because it was so for some people, right? It's ignorant to believe that Black people are lazy and all drink and all are into hip hop and all glorify beating their women and calling their women bees and hoes. That's ignorance. It's because people haven't been educated that the African American experience is not a monolith. We are a diaspora, a collective of experiences. But it requires education. That's why there is so much fear, because they don't know us. And quite frankly, we don't really know them. We think we do. They don't know us. And so there's education around how these differences have impacted us, right? You want to be involved in those conversations and discussions, you should join the manifesto. They will be pretty tense discussions because they will have opinions that you may not share or understand where they're coming from. And unless both are willing to do empathic inquiry and empathic listening, we won't get to the shared understandings that we need to have. So that's just the education portion. There is a participation portion, as I mentioned. And then there's an activation portion. What do I mean about that? It's taking to the streets those ideas. It's taking to economic sanctions to the streets. Here in Detroit, there is one African American bank. One. So it's taking a campaign to the streets to sign up as many people to go into First Independence Bank and get an account. It's activation. It's putting into action any of the plans. It's taking personal responsibility to put something into action. Okay, now there are plans. We formed plans around participation. We formed plans around education. Now let's put the things that we have synthesized into action. And then rinse and repeat and continue to mobilize, get more people into the education, get more people into the participation, get more people in the activation. Then strategize. Okay, what are the things that we're doing that we can combine and bring together? And then optimize, right? Someone was saying optimize, work it, go back. I call it rinse and repeat. That's what I call optimizing. You try something and you clean it off, rinse out the stuff that doesn't work, and repeat it again. See what happens. Okay, try it again. Rinse out the stuff that doesn't work, clean out your nets, try it again. That's what I call optimize. And so I'm hoping that you will join that Love Over Racism manifesto. I will drop the link in the comments, as well as the Gratefulness Journey link. Those were my 3 things. If you thought of the 3rd thing that I said, you have a chance to win a special gift. You'll have to inbox us at Love and Stuff. Inbox us at Love and Stuff. Inbox us at Love and Stuff. If you think of the 3rd thing that I shared at the beginning of the video or midway through the video that I'm grateful for. It's been a wonderful afternoon. Have a grateful day, and I hope to see you on the Gratefulness Journey very soon.